Hey everyone, it's Nathan, trans midwife here. I thought I'd do a video about something I find quite interesting, which is trans dreams. They are definitely a thing, and when you talk about a dream that you've had in relation to being trans, if you share that with another trans person, they've often had very similar dreams, which I think is interesting. And I think it tells you something about how the brain is processing the mismatch, the dysphoria, the things that are going on in a trans brain. And the reason that I started thinking about this more was because I had a dream the other night. Because my dysphoria goes up and down, and it's been gone for a couple of weeks. I think it's like almost gone, not never completely, but I think partly because I was focusing more on work, and I actually decided to take a little break from testosterone. I can talk about that in another video, but lately, kind of this week, it's been creeping back in a little bit. And one of the things that happens is, without me realizing that my dysphoria is coming back, I start dreaming, and then my dreams surprise me because I kind of didn't know that I was not okay. So the dream I had the other night was that I had male, if you don't mind me saying, genitalia, sort of cis male genitalia, I should say. So normal cis male stuff that I feel like I should have been born with sometimes. Sometimes feel that way, I mean. And what was interesting about this dream is because normally these dreams are quite sexual, but it just wasn't. I was just holding a cock and balls in my hand that belonged to me. I was just looking at them like, yeah, that's normal. That's what should be there. Yeah. And I woke up going, what? And so that was the other night, and that was the first dream I've had that was related specifically to genitals that wasn't a sexual dream. And other trans people have been able to relate to that. And then there was a dream that I had a while ago that, like, literally I've seen other trans people describe word for word. And this is several people, so I think this is one of the more universal ones. And basically, it was me I was on my way to a party with a bunch of people in my life, and we were in a big car, and we all kind of piled out of this car, and I was wearing a beautiful ball gown. And then I kind of took a few steps away from the car, and then I looked down and I was like, what the fuck? What am I wearing? And I started like hyperventilating, and then went into a panic attack with my friends. And I actually don't really have panic attacks, but in the dream I was having a panic attack in the dress, like it was the dress, and I was going, I can't do this. And I turned around and started to go back, and one of my friends said they'd drive me home and stuff, and then I got changed, came back to the party in a suit, and I was fine. And literally I've seen a few trans people say they've had the same dream, which is really interesting. What else? So I've had several sex dreams where I'm with another person, and it doesn't matter what I look like in the dream or what they look like in the dream in terms of gender, but our genitals keep switching around. So at one point, I'll have the penis and they'll have the vagina, and the other time it'll be the other way around. And but it's like mid dream, it keeps switching. So that's a weird one. And by the way, I don't think that all sexual couples need to have a penis and a vagina. It's just what's happening in my dreams. Okay. Yeah, and taking us back years and years, so before I knew anything about any of this, when I was still a child, I had a recurring dream that was I was a tall, skinny teenage boy of 15, specifically the number. I knew the number in the dream. And I had ginger, this length hair. You liking it, by the way? This is my new hair. It's kind of just growing out. I kind of liking it. Kind of digging the Ron Weasley vibes. Anyway, so I had this kind of length hair, ginger, and I was walking through these these like woods, but it was like a kind of playground in the woods. And I was kind of there hanging out with some guys, and that was just that, and that was just reoccurring. Like it happened about 10 times. So that was one. And then another thing that has happened before with dysphoria is waking dreams, near enough hallucinations. And like if I told this to a normal counsellor, they might think I was you know not okay. But for a trans person, I think it's quite a common thing, a sort of disassociation from reality, and not so much to worry about, just because being trans in itself is not a mental health issue. It's the repressing it that causes mental health issues. And so when you figure out that maybe the reason you're having disassociation and reactions and stuff is because you're trying to repress yourself and who you are, and then you stop doing that, and then it all goes away and it all gets good, then it's not because you're broken in your brain. It's just being trans. So I think I've spoken about this on the channel before, so forgive me, but one of the disassociation moments that I had was when I was awake. I was in the bath, and I was in candlelight, which didn't help the hallucination. It made it look a lot more solid. But basically, I saw myself stood in the corner of the room, because I was kind of looking down at my female-looking body, and then I saw myself with a male body in the corner of the room. That was freakish. It happened at a similar sort of time in my life. I was looking in the mirror, and it felt like I could see two faces in the mirror. That was a bit strange. I mean, it almost kind of always feels like I can see two faces in the mirror. But anyway, like I could literally see them that time. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, any other dreams that I can remember. Lots of, oh yeah, there was one, oh my god, there was one where I looked exactly like my dad. I had his like little black goatee, and because my dad is the same height as me, although he's now actually shorter than me, but before he started drinking he was the same height as me. And so I was wearing his clothes pretty much, and I had black hair and his little black goatee, and so I just looked really like my dad. And I'd had top surgery already, but not lower surgery. So that was quite a vivid dream of like, I feel like it was like the dream was where I looked the closest to myself and how I could actually look. And it was nice. It was like, where you imagine how you want to look, and it's completely a fantasy because you look nothing like that. That's like the tall, skinny ginger boy that I'll never look like. But this was someone that I could look like, with testosterone, top surgery. So yeah, that was a different kind of dream as well. I very, very rarely dream now of looking like my old self, which I think is a good thing. I think it's sort of it's like this new person that I've become, that's a much closer to my soul, is really ingrained now, and my subconscious is not going anymore. Who is this person that you've become? So yeah, I think it's positive. But it's interesting how I dream a lot about shifting and changing body parts, and clothes and stuff. I think it's about not always being 100%, because if anyone is just 110%, yes, I'm going to do this and that's it, and I've no doubts at all, then wow, because I think doubting is normal. And this is a big scary thing. You got to be sure, but you've also got to accept what you're taking on, recovery of surgery, and the weirdness of a second puberty and all this stuff. So doubting is normal, and I think dreams are a way for our brain to explore things that we're maybe not totally sure about, or we think we might want to look like this or be like this, but we're not 100%, and so let's explore that. Or a fear that we're going to be perceived in one way, and let's explore that. And what would we do if we did turn up to a party stuck in a dress? Would we go in and just be that. Like, no, we wouldn't. We'd turn around and we'd go home because our feelings matter. And yeah, put yourself first with this kind of stuff. It's very important. So dreams are good. It's a good playground for testing stuff out, playing things out. And so, if you have had any trans dreams, lay them on me in the comments. I want to read all about your experiences and what you've seen, maybe the out-of-body experiences and the dissociation experiences as well. Just share them with me. I'd love to read them. And if you have any questions for me, go for it. I'm an open book, as you may be able to tell already. Anyway, I hope you're all staying safe at this weird time in the world, and I'll come back soon.